All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is the Center Street Boys, and your hosts for today, you know who they are. It's the S.T.R.A.P. Strap. It's the D.I.P.O. Dipo. It is the D.E.Z. Des. Fellas, how are you doing?
Pretty good.
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, doing good, man. Doing
Anything
good.
new? Anything new? Anything happening? Before we
Personally,
start off the show and get into the topic.
personally, sports is back.
Oh yeah.
What you mean sport is back?
I
It's
mean,
been back.
I
football is
mean,
back.
in, in,
Yeah.
in, in, in totality, I guess. In totality, Premier League is back. Yeah.
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 Oh yeah, just like Deep was saying, yeah, sport is back. Well, football is back. So yeah, we get to have some entertainment, which is great. And we with sport being back, that also put the spotlight on the social injustice movement.
Shuffle.
And the recent case being when the Kansas City Chiefs and the Houston Texans got booed for standing and locking their arms up during the national anthem.
Mhm.
Like which is to me, which is pretty weird because that's what everyone has been asking or saying, like people should be peacefully protesting,
Yeah.
and they were doing just that. Yet they got booed by the same fans who 15 or 20 minutes later were cheering for them. That's the irony of the whole situation.
Yeah, I find it I find it confusing again because I also understand where the fans are somewhat coming from because I don't okay I don't empathize but kind of I see it because they want to separate their politics and their sports because they've been going through a lot throughout the day. Now they want to have this escapism, and they, when you bring politics into their sports, they kind of get turned off. But the reality is the people in their sports are the ones being affected by the politics, So it's a weird thing where, it's a whole shut up and dribble type of attitude mentality, where you want your athletes to be athletes, you want your actors to be actors. If you're acting, stay away from serious topics because those topics divide people. And a lot of the things that the I wouldn't call it a social justice injustice movement because really it's not a social injustice movement. It's just awareness of what's happening, and also taking accountability of the things that are happening where movements like Black Lives Matter, movements like equality, whether it's whether it's women's rights or just human beings in general. So like it's confusing. It's a very confusing time, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, but like I won't like that's a bit of misconception right there because I wouldn't say that has anything to do with politics. I think that's where people get it wrong because the thing what's going on right now has to do with like political party or political affiliation, and people have to see beyond that because this has nothing to do with politics. We're talking about human lives here. We're talking about being treated equally, and it has nothing to do whether you're a Democrat, Republican. Like those are things that we have to talk about, and
Yeah.
those players are standing up, like they didn't even kneel for the anthem. They
Yeah.
stood up and locked arms up. That's just going to your point, trying to bring awareness that, like, even though we're playing
Right.
sport, even though this is entertainment, let's not forget about what is going on right now because this is a bigger issue than sport. And I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah, like you're absolutely right. It's the thing is people like to mix up things where everything is based on the flag, everything is based on the national anthem, but they and where when something is done at a certain time, everything we look at is based on symbols. People want to pay attention to symbol and nuance, right? So that's why people are quick to bring in verbiage or words like politics into something that is not even is far away from politics. And your political views. It's just general human rights, you know. And to some people, human rights may be politics, because politicians are like scavengers. They're like crows. They're like things that are just waiting to jump on things to play with people's feelings so you could get votes, you know. So that's why there's that concept. It's weird, you know. Now you've seen point in case why people are quick to bring the politics word when you see people like Biden sitting down with Cardi B. Cardi B is an entertainer. What does she know about politics? But it's just a way to, I don't want to say pander, but a way to bring people to the polls to vote, you know, because you want to use saying symbols to bring people. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
So it's weird. It's so confusing for me, very confusing for me. Why people don't see that the good in acknowledging and using their platforms. The best way to bring a message out is using your biggest platform, you know. So this is our biggest platform. It's the best way to bring awareness to social injustice, to police brutality, to another thing that we always skip when we talk about stuff like this, racial no I mean like, you know, what's the word where I say sexual, no, I don't want to say sexual, like gender, yeah, gender issues. Gender equality, right? So I know we talk about the black, the white, you know, division and the issue and the police, but we don't talk about gender as a nation, you know, because women do go, you know, face it even harder than us men. So the best way to do it is on your platform. So footballers, that's their platform. Why do you stop them from doing their thing on their platform? So stay right.
I think what was funny to me is what is funny to me is the different narratives that kind of came out of it, trying to see how people try to justify or almost play sides, where some come and say, oh, the Bulls were not there, it was quiet, or some say, oh, they only booed when the Texans came out. So it was just those different narratives kind of put you. You take a backseat. You see each and every one of them. You kind of analyze it. You see, it's the same. It's all games, to be honest. It's all games. It's the games they play. It's like you say, oh, there weren't that many people born. You turn around and say, oh, they only grew because the Texans sat in the locker room and came out. I mean, they made a decision to do what they did, and they came out to stand for a cause. I mean, it really just shows you where we are still. You know.
Yeah.
It's a struggle, but we'll see how.
I think it's very, like I said on a previous episode with LT, it's always weird that they'll support you on a Sunday, and then they'll, you know, for your qualities, because you run fast, or you jump high, and then on that next day, the Monday, the police will kill you because of that same ability that you have, because you're strong, you jump fast, and you jump. I mean, you run fast and you jump high. So it's the irony, you know, and it's always weird for me. I always find it weird that, you know, people that are, you know, are racist straight up, you know, are the biggest fans in sports, you know, like they forget that their players are people that have to deal with some of these. I'm not calling them racist, the people that watch the sports, but they in somewhere in there, they have, we do have racists in fandom, you know. Generally, if you go our soccer, the sport that we love, we see how they treat opposing players who are black, you know. Sometimes, like in Russia, is it Russia, Ukraine, you know, we have racism in fandom. And you know, but the funny part is they're not racist to their players, they're racist to the opposition's players, and they forget that, you know, they're all, you know, it's weird. It's just, it's a weird way of thinking, and a weird way of looking at things.
Just piggybacking on that topic, one of the reasons why people or many people are now able to bring more awareness to social issues is because now most of us have access to social media. Social media gives a lot of people a platform to express themselves without basically having to spend much. I know, Strap, you were just talking about football players having the platforms, football being the platforms Just like we have celebrities and basketball players who are able to reach out to many people through the platform. But today, your next door neighbor can do the same because they have a Facebook or a Twitter, an Instagram. So social media has become a huge part of everyday life for most of us. So I guess that's what we're gonna dive in today. Just trying to see like the good and bad of social media and what kind of impact, what is positive and negative it can have on all of us, each one of us, as well as the world in general. So like, what are your thoughts about social media?
So I think it's a. I think I always play this card, but it's a blessing and a curse, depending on how you utilize it. I think so far, if based on the platform we are, I think it'd be almost hypocritical if I play more antagonist and protagonist, based on what that's what we use to share, to spread our word. So, I think just speaking for that, it's brought ease to a lot of things, to a lot of careers. It's helped bring people to spotlight. I think it's really, it just depends on how you use it. I think, from a mundane perspective, it's helped bring. Okay, so let's go back to the basics. It's a means to interact with friends, acquaintances, But as time goes on or went on, or whichever word you want to use, you then utilize the platform as a form of business, whichever business you're into, whichever line. But unfortunately, there's always, because of the way social media is set up, there's always that line to be drawn where the usage, you then go overboard to a point where you start abusing the usage. We're talking about, from a friend to friend basis, or frenemy or whatever. Bullying comes into play, and then from the flip side, I think Instagram is probably the biggest platform for this. Is seeing things and trying to live through people's lenses. I think, to be honest, the biggest thing for me for social media is it's on a personal level. Where do you, or have you found a way to know when to disconnect, to decipher between which is good information, which is bad? Too much information is never good. You have to find a way to either pull yourself back or decipher through what you see, what you read, what you hear on a regular basis. It'd be hard to say social media it doesn't have more positives. Use it to your advantage, but at the same time, don't let it get the best of you, or don't let it overwhelm you. So,
yeah. What's up, Strap?
So, on my case, on social media, first of all, I just want to backtrack on, the inception of it, the beginning of it. A lot of us may not even know the beginning of it. I don't know if an email was the first version of social media, because I remember emails had live chats. I think there was, I remember I used to have a Hotmail and they had a live chat.
Yeah. I remember when you used to spend a lot of time.
Yep, live chats, and there were chat rooms.
Yeah,
and then we advanced. There was something. I think MySpace was the first one, and I'll tell you this: MySpace had so many good elements of it, where you learned how to code, create your background, add music, and then everything from that. Fast forwarding to Facebook, to Twitter, to all this other stuff, and boom, now we have a million social media apps, or you have like 20 apps on your phone on social media, with different social media, whether it's TikTok, whether it's Snapchat, whether it's WhatsApp, whether it's overwhelming sometimes. But let's look at the beginning of it, right? It was supposed to bring us closer.
Yeah.
Then fast forward today, it's separating us. It's dividing us, because as I got older, I realized that human beings are tribalistic, and not tribalistic by actual meaning that I'm from this tribe. It's just that people want people with the same thoughts, the same ideas. So if you out of that idea of that thinking, I can't follow you. You know, it's the same way of like Democrats sit over here, Republicans. You know, like they always there's a divisiveness. You know, the idea of social media was to bring us together, but in actual reality, it's kind of showing us how we're different.
Yeah.
And that difference also can be shown in ways of, you know, like Dipo was going in a deep tunnel with that social media where he talked about some of its unhealthiness, the comparison factor, and it goes even deep to, you know, on a personal level, like for me, right? I look at social media not as a way to compare, but a way to understand the climate. You know, sometimes, you know, we're getting old sometimes, you know, I'm like, what's the music? What are they listening to?
Right.
So you know, you let social media predict or kind of control what you need to listen to. So it's kind of like somewhat we're all becoming victims to the algorithms of social media, because they are Amazon, right? I know it's not social media, but somehow they all intermarriage, because Amazon can promote stuff on your social media and you find yourself buying stuff from it. And you don't know why Amazon knows exactly what I want at this time. I don't know. But, you know, like we talked about, you know, in the past episode with technology, Google and data. And, you know, if you don't understand how data, and whenever you check stuff like that, it kind of ties into your social media. Anyway, long story short, I know I'm getting long-winded on this part of social media. It is a beautiful thing, but I think the inception of it was to bring us together, make us more connected.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's dividing us more. It's showing us how different we are, but again, how similar. But we can expand on that idea, or, you know, we can share more
Yeah, I
ideas.
mean, oh no, definitely, man. Like great point, Strap. That's exactly where I was going with this as well. Exactly my thoughts. Just like you said from the beginning, I think social media was meant to bring us closer, to be able to communicate with people. You could say on a fairly cheap manner, because way back, if you think about it, not everyone could afford phones, right? And just being able to have the internet and go like to a cafe and send an email to someone, get on a chat room, and we've
Yahoo
all
Mail and all that.
we've all done it. So yeah, definitely, like way back, I think social media, like intended use was to connect people. But I think even if you go way back, like at the beginning when they made Facebook, I think the model, something like that was, or the promotion catchline was like connect something connects. I think it was connect. The keyword was connect. Now today, like you said, it's not really the same. Social media is not used. It's not used as a marketing tool.
Yeah.
It's used as a propaganda tool. So we're still able to connect with people, but now it's also, like you're saying, it's also used as a way for us to compare us to others, or see like what kind of life am I living, and what kind of life are they living? Are we on the same level? Are you on the same social class? And also at the same time, going to Deepo's point, it's becoming unhealthy because people are now getting addicted to the concept of social media, and they would rather live in a world where everything is like revolves around social media rather than like living their own life.
Yeah.
Like Strap was saying, I think we should really try to see, because I don't want to talk about social media just as bad. There's a lot of good with social media connections, and there's more to it. Like maybe let's look at it as in, like in terms of the positive. Like what are the positives? Like how does social media bring us together? How does it make our lives better? And then we can go on the other side and look at the addiction aspect of social media, the negative connotation of social media, and try to expand and see where you guys stand with that as well.
Yeah. I think it's regardless So, I said this earlier, but it's always on a personal level, right? So I feel it depends to each person to see how much positive they want to bring out of it. But to go to the topic of conversation, it's done us, I think, a lot of favor in regards to keeping in touch with people that we've known for 20 plus years, I'd say. You can easily go from not talking to someone. A quick example for me, one of my boys we went to primary school together. Luckily for us, so I think we ended up in the same junior slash secondary school back in Nigeria. And I think his birthday was a couple of days ago, and I don't think I talked to him since I graduated from high school. I don't think, like, on a deep level, and it was just his birthday, and I just hit him up on Instagram, and we chatted for like probably an hour. So it's one of those things where you don't have to stress to say I need to tell a friend I'm looking for this guy's number just to reach out to him. It does make you. This one, I guess, this one is a toss up. Is a toss up. It does make you lax on how much effort you put into remembrance for, in regards to people. Like, I always think about it, it's like, if Facebook didn't alert me that, or Instagram did, or Snapchat didn't alert me that it was this guy's birthday or this lady's birthday, would I have remembered? But then it's like, okay, how realistic is it to remember all your 600 or 1,000 plus friends?
Well, are they really your friends?
Right.
You got
so that's the thing.
Or 800 friends.
Right. But that's the thing too. It's like, okay, so, but question is, out of all of, so that's the thing though, because how many friends you have now, that is taking away from you, from the core friends that you actually have, and giving you a chance to remember the birthdays. But to be honest, if we take away social media, how retentive of a memory do you have to remember the 20, 25 friends? You may say, okay, this is his birthday month, but how easy would it be for you to say you want to remember each and every one of them's birthday? So,
Yeah. Before Strap jumps in, so just going back to Dipo's point, yeah, you made a good point. That's what social media is about. Facebook. Something I had to say also, I forgot to say, is now we also. Well, I think we kind of said it, but the word should be we using social media as a what's the word, like a measurement, like a tool of measurement of how well you're doing in life. Yeah. So the reason why I'm thinking that's because way back when most of us, or some of us, opened a Facebook account, I don't know if you guys did it, but who among you was not very interested in like seeing how many friends they can get on Facebook? Like, you keep hitting the add button, and you have like 1,000, like 1,500 people, but how many of them do you really talk to? How many of them can you really call your friends? Yeah. And let's be real. How many of us really in real life can claim that I have 100 friends that I really keep in touch with? Right. Yeah. So maybe now we're getting lost in the idea of social media, thinking like we have people that we can talk to because they are friends on Facebook, but we're not really paying attention to building that close circle of people that you can trust, that you can really call friends. Yeah. So you go ahead, man.
Yeah. It's like, definitely it's strategic wording for some of these social media. Friends, followers.
Right.
It's strategic wording. People that come up with these platforms are very, very smart. I mean, it must be a group or a board of people to delegate what words they have to use, strategic, either welcoming words, how to create the homepage that is welcoming, choosing colors for your social media. Facebook, we know it's the blue and the white. So everything is strategic. So in actuality, let's not look at it as, the actual meaning of friends, right? Because if we're using it in that aspect, then the word friends is getting a different meaning. It's but really and truly, when, like Des said, when I discovered Facebook, it was a race for it was a race for popularity, kind of. And popularity, not as real popularity where they know you, but just to see how many people you can connect with. Yeah. And then as you get older, create another account. It's now a race of how many people can I hide from? How many pictures? I don't want to put, because you realize now that you have 2,000, 3,000 friends, you being populated with 3,000 ideas on a daily. You're like, man, I don't want to read this guy's thoughts every day, man. Like, to be honest, you know, and I don't want to argue, because there was a time when a few years ago when Facebook was known for people arguing comments for someone's idea. And I'm like, why even you wasting your time to even, because either this is a new word nowadays called trolls. Either they're trolling to get, you know, a reaction, or you actually don't see eye to eye on a point.
Yeah.
People can do it with sports. People can do it with politics. People can do it with gender, religion. And it was before Facebook had these rules where now you cannot even bring those things. They'll flag you and put you in Facebook jail. But I remember when Facebook, actually Twitter was the worst. Twitter was the worst. If you had the soft skin,
probably still is kind of.
Twitter was the worst, man. People would argue on Twitter. And that's where the movement of trolls happened, where people had fake IDs. You find a person with a fake. There was you know, Jesus and Mero is?
Who?
Jesus and Mero. They were famous on Twitter, and then they ended up getting a show on Comedy Central. So I think Jesus is black.
Oh yeah.
Jesus is black. Mero is Spanish.
Jesus?
No,
Black
Jesus is black. His name is Jesus.
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 Yeah.
So Jesus is black, and then Mero is he's Hispanic, but he's Hispanic black, right? Jesus for a long time used the white guy as his Avi picture. So everybody will say, who's this white guy using all these racial terms? And when people found out the face, you know, and you'll find out that trolls nowadays, they're like 12 years old, you know, talking politics, you know, making, you know, antagonizing provocateurs, you know, doing all these small little things. And you realize, like, when you say friends, followers, you have to be careful, because that verbiage is different. So to your point, there's it was a race for popularity. It was and there was a gratification on, you know, there's this weird human narcissism of feeling like, yeah, I should have those friends. Yeah, I feel good because I have all these friends. But really, there was no sign to showing that those are really your friends. But anyways, moving from that commentary of what Des said to this idea that I've been thinking about, the effects of, from his original question, the effects of social media. I feel good things that social media have done. It's made people creative. It's created avenues. It's created doors. It's created jobs. It's improved e-commerce. People started moving like a brand. Now you just don't move. You remember that anything you say can be used against you, so you start moving like a corporate brand. It's created brands. I know people like Kevin Hart got popular because of social media. You know, hashtags. Okay, or, you know, okay, or whatever. He's all right, whatever he's, you know. And also looking at it from outside social media, I feel like even in its downfalls, where we talk about comparison, but look at this. I think social media has also spiked up, say, in careers like plastic surgeons, because women want to look right for Instagram. How much, you know, job opportunities, how many clients are plastic surgeons getting nowadays? Because of Instagram. Seriously, Instagram has spiked people doing deformations to their body, you know, taking out a rib here, you know, adding some lipo, or doing some Botox. All this stuff is because of, they want to look fly for the Instagram. It's also enhanced, helped businesses like restaurants. People want it, like you talked last time, people taking pictures of their food.
It's called the fake booty movement.
Hey, fake booty. Even restaurants, people want to take pictures of their food because of Salt Bay, whatever. So
Food porn.
Food, yeah, exactly. Food porn. And you know, it's also helped give athletes voices. You know, LeBron James, maybe Michael Jordan would have done. I don't know what Michael Jordan would have done this generation, but you know, artists have created brands. You look at Pogba, look at Joel Embiid because of social media. Now they realize they're just not an athlete; they have a personality. Imagine if Shaq had social media, man, he would be way bigger because he was a funny dude. But anyways, to say the least, I think that's the positive that I've seen from social media, even though it does have the other side.
Yeah, no, I do agree. I do agree with the both of you. I agree with what you just said about just social media gives us a platform to be able to express our thoughts, to be creative, to be able to reach out to many people. Like way back, 20, 25 years ago, I wouldn't think like we wouldn't think that we'd have this type of platform where you can actually reach out to people and you could start a career on Facebook, on Twitter. Like people, I think Justin Bieber, did he get discovered like on YouTube or something like that?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people have made a name or something out of themselves from starting with social media. So it's definitely helped us to be able to reach out to many people like across the world, which is something that was not easily done way back. And then today we're able to like someone is able to actually go out and have access to a lot of information, like a lot of useful information on social media. So there's a lot of good to it, but just like Dipo was saying, sometimes I think when it comes to too much of a good thing can become a bad thing, can become an addiction. I think that's kind of like where we're going with this right now, where it's like, even though like initially, like the intent was to use this to connect with others, to build platforms and brands. But now we also see people getting addicted to social media and using it to slander other people and to share negativity. And like, God rest their souls, but I'm sure a lot of lives is being lost because of social media. Cyberbullying. I know we've privately talked about the cancel culture. Like, I could say the cancel culture started from social media as well, because it's so easy to spread the word on social media these days. So anything you say could have like a huge impact on the next person, on a group of people, on a whole organization, which can be good, very good, and bad, because you can hold people accountable for what they do. Because way back, someone would do something behind closed doors and nobody will hear about it. Why? Because nobody had the platform to be able to share it. Today, you always have to look behind your back and see who's recording you, and see like who you're talking to, because you never know what they're going to put out on social media. And that's like a serious topic, whether it's politicians, for celebrities, paparazzi. Anybody can be paparazzi today. We can all be paparazzi. Get a phone and go out and record people and do what we need to do. But so you see, like, there's a lot of good things with social media, but at the same time, we also have to look at it like as in something that can be used to ruin someone's life. You can ruin your own life with it, or ruin somebody else's life. So like I want to dive into that a little bit about the Trump brought up some point about now people wanting to, like to do enhancement to their bodies because they want to look good on social media. People pretending to live lives that they can't afford just because they want to look good on social media. So what do you guys think about that?
So I think to kind of, okay. So for me, every platform tends to have its way at molding or forming people. When Facebook came on, I think Facebook is still probably the most family or friend based of them all. Twitter was more for trending things, trolling and things like that. Boom, boom, boom. It's a quick chat. You're not having to worry about all that extra stuff that Facebook, gave to you. It's basically it's like a news. It's a news type of platform. Like, you just keep scrolling. You respond and whatnot. Snapchat seems to be a more it's a version of Instagram, but it's kind of on. Instagram to me is a mixture of Snapchat and Facebook together, right? So I feel with the emergence of Instagram, the visual part of it has really, really affected a lot of us in so many different ways. To me, I feel that's where the biggest issue with social media, to me personally, comes from. Yes, Facebook, it had its days. It's the longest, but as as things changed, as Vine died down and Instagram became more popular, and being that it's a picture first than anything, that in itself were visual beings that affects how you look at things. You see guys, you see, so you go from you see athletes, now you're seeing people who work out on a regular basis. Like, oh, I wish that those are positive things. But depending on how you are shape wise, you shouldn't necessarily. You can either let that motivate you, or you can let that be a detriment. Like, oh damn, I can't be like this guy. But it's almost it. The way Instagram is set up is if you're not careful within yourself, you begin to doubt yourself, and you become insecure based on what you see. Now we're talking about content that's not even necessarily geared to mislead you. It's just it brings because of the visuality of it. It brings the thought of, oh, you're not enough. People trying to paint. I don't want to say paint because I don't want to. It's kind of like it's almost like me trying to bash someone else's relationship. I don't know what's going on in everyone else's relationship or marriages or whatever. It may be great. They may be open people. You want to post everything on social media. That's fine. But I think the issue would always be the viewer. How do you perceive what you're seeing? And do you get the best out of this? Oh, that's a great couple. Fine. Now, you never know. We've seen this happen time and time again. 2, 3 years, 2 months, even 5, 6 months after. Oh, they crashed. Why? Because blah, 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 blah. It's like, oh, wow, I thought they were a great couple. I mean, it's like a lens, right? Just because someone is painting something doesn't necessarily mean that it's all great. But also, it doesn't have to be all great for you to want to post things of that nature. It's almost like a perception thing. It's like, don't assume that everything is great just because of what I'm posting. I'm not going to post something bad on my social media.
Right.
Yeah. No, the Dipo, but here's the thing. The issue, don't you think the issue is not just the viewer, but also the sender? Because now people will only post Instagram-worthy pictures or videos what I mean?
But there has to be reason to that. There has to be reason to that.
Well,
Dipo has a point. Like, his point is very, very potent. He said, why would I post something that I don't want you to see?
Right.
But that's the point. But that's also an issue because, like, you have to look at it from not just a viewer standpoint, but the person that's posting something as well. So when you're posting something, why are you willing to post something that's only good to others? Because you're looking for the likes?
I mean, it's like ESPN highlights. It's like top 10 highlights. Like you get the best moments of your life and you post them. You never post the dullest moments. Like a highlight reel. Like you always want to show the ones dunking, but you don't want to show the full game. You want to show the time when you had a turnover. You don't want to show the one where you had a foul.
That is very true, but it's only good when you like posting something that I would say is real. When you're trying to fake it because you're searching for seeking the likes, the likes and the loves, emojis, then that's a problem.
So to me, that's the delineation, right? Most of the things I talked about are things that you're not necessarily lying, but you don't want to post.
Yeah,
things that are not worthy.
None of their business.
Right now. Now, those who go to the extreme of posting fake stuff, that is a different conversation. To me, to be honest, that still lies within the viewer's hands.
But you have to be honest. We can see through the fake stuff. Like human beings, let's give human beings. Human beings are smart. Human beings are smart. Like people think human beings are stupid. We can see when people are buying Facebook followers or whatever, buying Instagram followers. You can see bots. You can see bots. When you see your people from Russia or from Thailand and you've never been there, like when you buying likes, like people can see through that. Like, I mean, to you, nobody's gonna tell you. Nobody's gonna tell you. It's like. Which is bad because you don't have real friends. But if you have some people call you out and be like, hey, man, I know you keep and tell people to unfollow you, all those likes to unlike you. Yeah. But it kind of shows integrity. It's an integrity thing.
Yeah. You sound like you have a personal experience to give.
I mean, a lot, even famous people. Like a lot of, you could see a lot of people are being followed by bots and like it shows insecurity. And I'm not bad or I'm not bashing people who have insecurities. We all have our insecurities, but
See, to play a protagonist a bit, it's kind of like going for a job that you know, if you're on the job, you could perform, but you don't have the creds, you don't have the resume to it. So you spice up your resume. Unfortunately, that's the way Instagram, social media works to a certain extent.
True. Unless you're a doctor and you have to be in the operation room.
Exactly. So
wait, man. Like,
go ahead.
You guys are making good point. That's a good point. Unless you're a doctor, you have to be in the operation room. You know what's gonna happen to you once you spice up the resume, man? They give you the $1 million project.
That's what I'm saying. But that's the thing, though. You have to be careful what positions you spice up a resume for. In my field, you can't do that because you will fall flat on your face because it's most of the time it's a fight or flight reaction. Every go time is different. Every situation is different. So that won't work for you. You have to be careful. I think more meticulous and more planned out roles make it easier for you to spice up a resume. You go to that, okay, on a day-to-day basis, and you know.
But let's keep it real. I think even before social media, human beings have always been like this. We always want to show out. We always want to lead by our best foot.
Our best,
Yeah, we always want to portray that everything is good. I mean, that's why women wear makeup. You know, we know that they're wearing makeup. We know there's an enhancement there.
Yeah.
We know that we have this. Okay, so what you saying, Dipo?
But the thing with makeup to kind of
Let's not talk about this.
I'm not going far. I'm not going far. I'm serious. I'm not going far. I'm not, I promise. But the thing about makeup to circumvent to social media is, with makeup we know, but the hope is you use to compliment yourself, not to overhaul yourself.
Yeah.
The same thing applies to social media.
But unfortunately, people have taken makeup and contouring of the face to a level where they look totally different. They are a totally different person with it and without it. So and it's their prerogative. It's their right. I'm not going to Des. You're right. We're not going to go into the makeup conversation because this is not a podcast of bashing. We're not going to go into the followers, buying likes. That's not it. The thing is, it's been happening before social media. Human beings have always wanted to leverage themselves or position or structure themselves as they're doing better off in life rather than
being successful.
And even back home, like it was a thing about family, having your family out of the compound to see, we are getting more and more, and we're getting bigger and bigger. We stick family pictures, and really, but we don't talk about the family issues. You don't put out your dadly laundry out in the streets. It's always internal. Again, now throwing a curveball to this whole topic because it's a real good topic. I personally don't think social media, it's like the chicken and the egg. Which came first, right? Yeah. Is it the smartphone or is it social media? Because social media was there before the smartphone. But the effects of social media have happened even faster now that we have it in the palm of our hands. True. So the egg and the chicken, right? Which one's first? Was it the egg? Well, let's say the egg is social media and the chicken is the smartphone, right? So with the smartphone, right? Everything that we do, Snapchat, Instagram, everything is predicated off this. Taking a pictures, you're not using a DSLR camera to take a picture of Instagram. Yeah, you're gonna do it, but it's gonna take a little bit of work to upload it on a browser, on a desktop computer browser. I mean, everything is so handy. You take it on your phone, post it. Take a video, post it. So this is the enhance of all the social media stuff that we have, whether it's receiving, whether input or output, right? We all agree to that, right? This is the media. We view our social media from this device, right? Yeah. So this device also comes with a store that has enhancers where you can buy an app that can make you look different or add a filter or make you look slimmer or make you look whatever, depending, right? We agree on that, right? Yeah. So and I'm not saying there's a chicken and the egg. So let's talk about social media in conjunction to technology, like last week or the week before. Saying that, its effects, right? Whether positive or negative. Yeah. We have to look at all the different things. Not only we've been talking about the psychological aspect of it, showing our human insecurities. We've been talking about the psychological is same as mental aspect of it, but we've not talked about the tools that we operate with social media.
Right. Yeah. The tools that.
So I want that curveball. Yeah. Like
the tools that enhance it. To be
if
honest,
if we didn't have smartphones, would this happen?
It probably won't, because think about it from your cyber cafe days. I'm not wasting all my money going to a cyber cafe to go troll people on Twitter. Well, some people would. If you have the connect to sit in a cyber cafe for if you're jobless, let's put it plainly, because it's easy for us to do these things while working. You can easily scroll through. You can't be doing that.
Bro.
9 to 5 job.
Bro, you're making me laugh right now, because I remember my cyber cafe days. I used to go there to download movies and music and give those computers viruses, bro. I remember like LimeWire. I went to download, like I'll pay for my 30 minutes.
Oh man,
the internet was slow too, man. I remember those days.
No, but for real, like I think Deep was right. Without the phone, without the computers getting cheap, I don't think we're able to post as much, because we basically went from being semi-private, like a semi-private society, to a very public society.
Right.
So like people don't know what it means to be private anymore. Like you'll be surprised to see someone who barely talks to you. They know everything about you. Like they know what you do, and like your birthdays, going to Dipo's point earlier, and they know what you like the places that you go eat. Someone can stalk you.
Absolutely.
On social media. So so it's just like we've lost that sense of privacy, because I think way back, going back to Strap's point, people like to post. I mean, they want to post things that show them on the best behavior, the best day, the best foot forward. But at the same time, they don't want to, show the dirty laundry. Yeah. However, way back, you could say like we value privacy more than we do now, because nobody wanted to put the business out there for people to talk about. When it was, yes, people want to see you, you want to show people that you're doing good, but at the same time, you don't want to put yourself out there way too much, because you don't want people to be talking about you. Because the same people that's going to look at you and say like, yeah, he's doing good, they're going to be like, yeah, he's doing good, but he doesn't share it with anybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're going to be talking about you. Like people don't always like people that are successful. Like you thinking like because you're showing off your success, it means they like it. No, they don't. Like they're gonna talk behind your back. Yeah. So, but today we don't feel like that anymore. Like we want to show off the success so that people can envy us and talk about us, rather than people say, oh, you know what I mean? Like I don't want people to be talking about me, whether it's in a positive way, sure, but negative way, no. But we want people to be talking about us regardless of how they say things. So like good publicity is publicity, bad publicity is publicity too. Like, you know what I mean? Like everything is publicity. So that's the mentality we have now, that we want people to talk about us regardless of what they're saying. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just tough. But going back to Strap's point, if we didn't have the phone, if we didn't have cheap computers, I don't think we're able to do that today. Yeah. So yeah, the corporate is here. That's definitely like technology corporate.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like you said, like back in the day, right? We were more private. But even to be honest, how we consumed information back in the day, you took a little bit of effort. Like if you wanted to learn something, going to the library was a thing, right? Actually getting a library card back home. We had a library card, and then you had the big encyclopedia books to know stuff, right? Yeah. But right now, because of enhancement of technology and readily available stuff, it's all in the palm of your hand, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. You Google, you Wikipedia everything, you find out.
You don't even have to buy it.
Yeah. So I remember as a kid, my dad would like come, for some weird reason, my dad wakes up like at 5 in the morning every day. And there was always like tea boiling or something. This guy would wake up, he smoked cigarettes. I know he's smoking his cigarette outside. As soon as he's done smoking his morning cigarette, he opens the door. This dude would just rush into my room and open the curtains. I don't know, for some reason he did that. I used to hate it. I hated it. Even as I got older, I had to confront him and say, Dad, like really, like I spent the night maybe studying, doing whatever. But he used to always come and do that. He's like, hey man, You got to beat the sun. You got to get up early. He was always like that, trying to install that in me, but it never worked. I don't know, but he tried. But anyways, his long story short, he opens the curtain and then he gives me equivalent to $2 or $1 to go get a newspaper.
Yeah.
And the newspaper stand was like maybe 2 blocks away from the house. And then after that, he's like, okay, maybe even get me some more cigarettes or give me. And by the way, you could buy cigarettes at 6 years old. You could buy anything in Africa, in Uganda. Yeah. But yeah, maybe buy this or buy some eggs, buy, whatever eggs and bring it back. So this dude sends me like at 6 in the morning. I have to get peppers. So I'm one of those guys. I used to read newspaper, but I'll go to the back page for the sports. That's how I received the information about transfers, about deals, about, the lottery things that were there. There was cross puzzles. There was, politics, cartoons, all that. But now Twitter is the news. The way people receive news, they receive it instantly, right? Like back home, when I was a kid, we used to sit down and wait for the news at 9 or 8 p.m., and then there was the morning news. They had news like in 3 different, there was morning, afternoon, and evening. 3. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's the only time you get new stuff. So now I'm saying that to say this: social media now has forced us to have an appetite for content.
Yeah.
Right. So with that being said, as a musician, it's hard to even put out music because of social media, because you put out music this week, next week, nobody's playing your stuff. It's old. When's the new stuff coming out? Man, this guy's not put out music in 2 weeks, man. That's crazy. It's because the appetite for content is high because of social media, because people are constantly on their phones getting updated on something, which is not healthy. Back when I was a kid, man, I mean, people would gossip, but now your gossiping is not real gossip. It's always on your timeline. You're like, God, Kim Kardashian did what? Man, Trump did what? What? And, it's crazy. So I think also it's I wouldn't say our attention deficit, the effects of social media with our attention deficit, but also with how we consume stuff. We consume stuff at a higher rate. So we get bored very fast because of social media. Secondly, Des made a good point of people profiling you because of social media. People know exactly where you are. People following, they can easily stalk you. But check this out. I think it's also affected dating because there's no element of surprise.
Yeah.
Like, a guy is going to put his everything 5'6", 6'5", whatever. I like this type of food, just my music selection. So it kind of takes away the whole thing of let me get to know this person, or let me.
You assume before you actually really know, or I guess you take things a lot of face value. It's like, okay, I've seen enough from social media or whatever. I think I know this person well enough to decide whether or not I want to actually take that step to know them better. So
I mean, Dipo, so this is what we were saying earlier, but we don't really know if the sender, the person that's sending the information, if that's really accurate information.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you may be receiving and thinking like, that's what she likes. She likes to go out and eat here. She eats this and that. But then when you go talk to the person, it's like a 180, right? Like it's like a completely different person that you don't really know. It's like this day you don't really know who you're dealing with based on what they post on social media. Yeah. So we don't really know what is real and what is fake. So I'd say like human beings are smart and we're able to decipher when someone is putting fake news out there, but it can be very tricky these days, especially when it's only visual, like on Instagram, someone looking good. They're looking good and you see like the background is nice, but then you look at the front side, it's like a whole messy house. Maybe they just went to somebody else's house to take a picture and you think that's where they live. So it's hard to be able to use that information to say, I really know this person. I really know what kind of life they're living. I think I did mention this in the past about a story of a woman seeing a friend post like nice pictures of her husband giving her flowers, and then she go get herself, buy some flowers for herself and post on Instagram and say, hey, look what my husband got me. But what she didn't know it was her friend was doing the same thing. So they both lie into each other and nobody knows that. And they're thinking like, I'm seeing them like, look at that, that's nice. And she sees that's nice, but nobody's actually being real. So now the question is, are we getting away from reality because of social media? Are we forgetting how to get to know people, how to build like interaction with other human beings, and we're just relying too much on social media to be able to say, hey, this is the best situation I need to be in, or I do need to connect with this person because this is the information they're sharing on social media. And I feel like if I get to, I get with them, like I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna do something great. Like, what do you guys think about that?
You want to take a crack at that, or you want me to go ahead?
Go ahead.
So I think with everything, the blessings and the curses, right? The curses of social media is this: it's inevitable. You can't. I don't think it's possible for you for this not to be the case, especially because of the kind of people we are. So, as you said, are we getting away from reality? I feel like I think I keep going to the same thing, but it's on a person-to-person basis, right? The fact we're having this conversation means that to some extent we know, okay, this is getting too much. This is not real. You may look at it; it's entertainment. Question is, how do you react to the entertainment, or how do you digest the entertainment? Do you take it? Do you let it plague your mind, or do you just say, okay, it's fun, and do you move on from it?
Dipo, before you keep going, I really like the word you use, entertainment. Yeah. Social media is entertainment.
In all honesty, that's what it is. Because earlier I said Facebook days seems more family centric, right?
Yeah.
Once you cross away from Snapchat, I said Instagram was to me is a combination of Snapchat and Facebook, right? Snapchat can be private of some sort. I mean, it's entertaining, but chances are, well, to the way I use it, I'm not really on the discover page that much. So I don't really, to me, I seem like I have enough of friends I follow, I see the Snap stories. I don't necessarily need to go see what every other superstar is doing. Yes, time may come, you may want to look at ESPN's page or whatever, but, aside from that, every other platform seems like more of an entertainment source. The problem is, where is your headspace? Are you looking at it as entertainment, or are you looking at it and let it cloud your judgment of how reality really is? So it's like, okay, you've seen from a lady's perspective, it's like, oh, you're seeing this girl, she looks good, da da da. Are you letting that plague your mind, or are you saying, okay, this is who I am? Now you can let it motivate you to be better, but as it taking over you in totality, now you go from there, and then all of a sudden you see ladies, back to back, doing all types of surgeries. From a relationship perspective as well, right? As a guy, you know who your lady is at home. Are you letting the Instagram models plague your mind and put you in a space where you're being unrealistic of what is actually true? It's like, okay, you don't know what that lady is going through. You don't know how she got there. You know what you have within yourself, but are you? So that's the imbalance. It's like, okay, that's the curse that comes with it. It's like, can you remove yourself from it? At a certain stage, it's kind of like it's a skill, right? We're all trying to stay as medium as possible or as low as possible. So you either get off, you're on it, seldom. I think for us, because of the platform we have, we're trying to find a middle ground because of the topics. So that's another thing. That's another great thing. Like because the topics we talk about, it forces us to be better.
Yeah.
Because you can't talk about these issues if you're not thinking logically or trying to do things the right way. So.
Yeah. I mean, definitely, man. I mean, you're right. I just going back to my point, the fake booty movement is real.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's not real. It's fake. So, I think we've talked about this. Like most of us tend to be very visual being. Like you can easily get swayed by what you see, rather than what you're actually experiencing. So, like you said, not a lot of people are able to put themselves in a position where they understand that what you see on social media shouldn't be impacting the decision you make in your personal life. Many of us do, and many others don't. And it's not easy just because, like Strap was saying earlier, the culprit is the phone that we have.
Yeah.
Most of us sleep with our phone next to our bedside. So when you wake up in the morning, what do you do first thing? You check your phone.
Right.
You want to get that information that's coming to Twitter, Instagram, and some of us, or many of us, make decision on how our life is going. I mean, our day is going to go based on what we see first thing in the morning. So, like, how your day is going to go, how your mood is going to be throughout the day can be heavily affected by what you see on Instagram from somebody else's posts. This is where the part what social media becomes a huge tool that has like a huge impact to remove us from where we should be doing and instead turn our attention to what we see or things that we think we should be doing. You know what I mean? It's like I have goals in mind, I have a plan, but like I'm not sure if it's gonna work because this person posted something a little bit similar, and this is what they did. Let me follow what they did. Yeah. So we are removing ourselves from sticking to the plan, sticking to what we know, to what we've experienced personally, to just following somebody else. So we're living somebody else's dreams, right? We're living in somebody else's shoes, and that's how we remove ourselves from reality. So now we have to know how to find the balance between. Yes, I can use social media as a tool to get the proper information to make myself better, to make my branding better, to build a business. But at the same time, I have to use a filter. I have to use a lens to filter information that's coming through social media to know what is right and what is not right, and what I can do when I cannot do. Because like not everyone on social media, like you guys were saying, we don't all live the same life. Right. Celebrities don't live like we do. Your next door neighbor may not live like you do. Your friend may not live like you do. So you just have to be able to understand that. Don't let them have an impact on the decision you make for yourself. Right. On a day-to-day basis, but rather use that information and try to process it and see what works for you and what doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well said, fellas. I mean, I look at it very similar to you guys. But one thing I definitely would like to do now that I'm a new parent is also understanding that it's a big world out there, and social media and the internet even makes it bigger because it gives everyone access to you at any time, whenever they want to. So one thing I would like to tell listeners, even you two guys, like I'm very protective of my loved ones. I mean, here and there I may post a picture of my daughter, but sometimes I delete it from Instagram because I understand, people could steal your likeliness. I know people that steal family pictures and put them on, pretending that that's their family or this is their kid. So if you guys, fake accounts. So be careful on when posting your kids. There are child predators out there that it's weird, but we may say it weirdly, but there are people out there that are being predatory to your kids' pictures.
Yeah.
Me, one big component is protecting the people I love. I can take the criticism. I could take when somebody calls me ugly or says your music is trash or your podcast is trash. But I don't know how I would take it if it's somebody I love, like my child, and people are like critiquing. Because one time I had an incident where, I posted my daughter's pic and somebody that I randomly know, I don't even know totally, says, "Oh, cute picture. Can I repost it?" I'm like, "What? You crazy?" Like, okay, we don't know each other. Like, why would you ask me to repost it? And it was a lady, an African lady, because she just wanted to share my child's pic. And I'm like, to show them that, oh, this is Strap's child, right? Which is weird to me.
Yeah.
But I understand maybe it's also a culture thing too.
Yeah.
With that being said, I respect the celebrities that keep their private stuff private. Because it's hard. Like that's why I respected Chadwick Boseman, because a lot of celebrities would use this cancer thing as a way for sympathy, but he was making big movies fighting this disease, keeping everything away from social media. There's a high level of respect that I have for him, keeping his private stuff private and not having anyone feel sorry for him in roles that he's acting, because you can use that and make money. You can monetize off people's emotions. especially with something like cancer. I like celebrities that never show pictures of their wife because they're trying to protect their wife. You know they're married, but they are like, man, it's none of your business. My main thing is I'm selling this brand right here. You know, that's a big thing because people make monetize relationships, by the way. Like Dipo said earlier, like you see them taking pictures, going on vacations, thinking they have the best relationship. Next thing you hear, oh, he was abusive, or he cheated, or he did this, or you know. And I'm like, okay, me who never posts, I have the happiest relationship that you guys may never know. But you know, all you see me is posting goofy stuff or memes, but you don't know that I'm having the best life of my, you know. So it's a weird world that we live in. That yes, Dipo hit the nail right there. We can still harness and practice our privacy, even with a world where everyone wants you to be transparent. Same thing as what do you guys think about using social media to share your agendas? Like we are doing that right now. We are sharing our opinions, we are sharing our ideas, but I know I don't want to put this person on on the hot seat, but I know someone, and they know they listen to this podcast. They share every day with me. They're Christian. And this person is very close to me, by the way. And they send me scriptures, and they try to get me to go to this church, which is understandable. But I even had a conversation with them. I'm like, man, or female, you cannot force people to come to Christ like this, or using your social media, talking, about, pivoting, leveraging your beliefs on others based on current events, based on a scripture, and they will say, oh, this is saying this is the end of times. This locust, I feel like, to me, that's my only personal opinion. I feel like religion should also be a private thing, even with my celebrities, because I know you if you have many supporters, right? And they're like, man, he's Muslim. Now, people that have a wrong connotation or understanding of Muslims or experiences, they'll all automatically lose you. Your brand starts to fall off because now you're bringing the religious aspect to it. I feel like I felt the world was a lot better before people. I mean, and I know you two guys may have different beliefs on this, but I feel like I miss privacy. I miss people not telling you what, telling you, oh, I'm this. So if you don't believe in this, I cannot rock with you. And I have a person like that in my ear every time. And I'm like, bro, I mess with you, but you can't be aggressive with me. Even on social media, you can't.
Yes, I mean, Strap. Yeah, good points you made right there. I'm gonna talk about first going back to kind of like piggyback on what you said about privacy, because that's huge. I'm huge on privacy, and you guys probably know. You probably see my activity on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
It's because I've got to learn along the way, just like you said. I've got to learn and go along the way and realize I don't have to be present on social media like many people are these days to make myself feel better, because sometimes people use social media as a way to to feel better about themselves, maybe getting those likes and comments and all that. I don't want to rely on that, because that's all vanity and that's going to go away. So when that goes away, like you post a picture, you post something, you don't get the positive reactions you expect from people, then you have some type of emptiness within you that it's like a void that you cannot fill. And then what happens, people end up becoming depressed because of that. And when it happens over and over again, people become depressed, and next thing you know, it's like they got themselves in trouble because of that. So that's why I'm like huge on privacy, like huge. My personal story, it's a little bit of personal story, like it goes back like maybe 2012 or 11, something like that. So I decided to close my Facebook account for three months to just see what it felt like. And I'm telling you, the change was real, because I felt like I had so much time in my hands to do other things, to focus my energy on other things. And it was just a life turning moment for me, because when I came back, I was able to see social media, Facebook, like a different perspective. I felt like I did not need to have it to be on my phone all the time scrolling. You'd be surprised. I mean, how long people scroll on the phone.
Right.
You'd be surprised. But it was amazing because now I went back and I looked at what I had on Facebook pictures, and I was like, man, do I really need to have this many pictures on Facebook? Do I have to be posting so much?
Yeah.
No. You know what? Let me focus on talking to my friends. So I know you fellas and some other friends. We have like some group text
Yeah.
and group messages. I mean, those are the things I enjoy the most because I get to talk to my friends and we get to be in touch. We get to stay connected. I don't have to publicize that. I don't need people to know that I'm doing all these things.
Yeah.
Now, every now and then it feels great to see my friend post a picture and see how they're doing, see like they're doing well. When I see something positive, I'm assuming you're doing well. But then at the same time, I'm talking to you too, and I know you're doing well. So that's good to see that. But I, I don't want to be out there like posting things as a way of um, showing people like this is what's going on in my life, and like I want you guys to be able to know and see that I'm doing this and that on a regular basis. So like, how did I get to that point? Strap, you like talked about it, but I also experienced it, and it was not with a celebrity; it was with friends. So when I was in college, I'm not going to say the names, but there was this one couple, a couple friends of mine. They were in a relationship. They had been in a relationship for like 2 years or so, 2 or 3 years, and like they barely posted anything on social media about the relationship. You know how everyone had that in the relationship with Facebook.
Yeah.
They didn't even have that. And these people were in relationship with them on campus. But then what was interesting is like I had a lot of other friends, a lot of other people that got into relationships and they'll post a bunch of pictures on Facebook and social media. And they only last like 2 or 3 months. And I'm like, how come these people that never post anything seem to be the happiest? You see them on campus, they're like super happy. They don't post anything. And till this day, like they still together, got married and they still practice the same thing. So you see, like you don't have to post things on social media for you to feel happy, for you
Yeah.
to feel that you're doing something meaningful in your life. That's just for our listeners and viewers because that turns into an addiction, and that addiction, when you don't receive the the praises and the likes and the comments that you want to get, that will turn into something else, and you don't want to get into that place. And now going to the second thing about what Strap was saying about just people not people forcing themselves, the beliefs or like the thought onto other people on social media. I think we talked about this. Social media is an open platform. I
Yeah.
can't stop you from posting what you want to post, right? You can
Yeah.
post any information. So now it's going back to Dipo's point. It's up to
The
the
viewer.
viewer or
Yeah.
the listener to see the receiver to see like how am I going to use this information and let this bother me, or I'm just going to like scroll down and forget about it. That's what I do personally because I can't force you to not post anything on
Yeah.
your Facebook page or your beliefs. I am a Christian. And as a Christian, I shouldn't be afraid to put my beliefs out there, even though I don't post a lot of things on social media. But when I do that, I'm doing it not because I'm trying to force my beliefs onto my friends. It's just because I don't want to hide from who I really am. Just like you said, like if you believe that you're something, going to people that like the gender equality you talked about. That some people may say, how they say like people need to come out of the closet because they don't think they're heterosexual and they
Yeah.
may relate to like a different gender. And if they post something on Facebook or on social media, it's not because they're trying to impose that their belief or like what they think they are on you. It's more like they just want to be free that to let people know like this is who I am. So I don't
Yeah.
have any problem with that. It's up to me to just say, am I gonna let this bother me, or I'm just gonna go about my day,
Mm-hmm.
get the information, and filter what I want to keep and get rid of what I don't want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think to add to what Dad said, to me, I think the actions should do it more for you.
Mm.
If you're trying to spread a specific narrative, or if you're trying to spread the word, you should act more. Let someone see who you are, and then you preach to them.
Mm.
And another key thing for me is, and I think we've probably talked about this of air. But are you preaching religion, or are you preaching spirituality? You know, I think most of the antagonistic or most of the drawbacks come from the religious aspect of things. I'm a Christian, you know, you guys know this, so I know what I know, and I practice it. I try to, on a daily basis or on a personal level, try to practice it more on the spiritual side of things, not on religion, because even within Christianity, when you start going through different demographics or different types, you know, Catholic, Pentecostal, Baptist, and all that stuff, you could easily get lost in the maze. So, you know, at the end of the day, when you look at through the full spectrum, is okay. What are you preaching religion, or are you preaching spirituality? So, but you know, to go back to Strap's question, you know, I'll second what Des said, because think about it this way. For us, we don't force what we're feeding down anyone's throat. We just put our content there. It's up to you to decide if you want to listen to it or not. Please listen if you love it. If you love it, yes. If you don't, you know, what ways can we get better? I think the same thing applies to to every other device, every other device. To be honest, you know, to Strap's points, like if you've possessed something, you know, geared towards spirituality or religion, it's up to Strap to decide whether or not he wants to feed into it. You know, if he does, you know, it's like, okay, I like this. You know, you love quotes. You know, that's really how. Think about it. All the young and upcoming preachers that you see these days, none of them come to your DMs and forces you to listen to what they're saying. You are drawn into what they preach because of either how they preach, either because they're actual prophets, either because they're good motivational speakers and you like the message they share. You're not necessarily concerned about whether how spiritual they are, but sometimes it really is the message and not the messenger. If is a message valid, yes, I'll receive it. And sometimes you get blessed. Not sorry to go down this path, but you get blessed off of the message. The messenger doesn't necessarily have to bless you. You get blessed because you received it with a clean spirit, a clean heart. Same thing goes to social media, you know, to Strap's point. You know, we receive it. At the end of the day, it still comes back to my point. To me, it's 95% the viewer, the receiver's decision. Right. How do you receive the message? Are you able to push it, or you know, decide, okay, I need this, I don't. This is garbage. Right. You know, that's really it for me. So.
And Strap, so your friend that's reaching out to you, I'm assuming on a more personal level, I think they should be able to also respect.
Exactly, and that's why I was going.
Yeah, because even on social media, like we do see a lot of things that people post on social media that we may not agree with, but we still respect their opinion and respect what they do. As long as it's not, you know, like it's not affecting me, I'm all good. But when someone is reaching out to you personally and you, like people were saying, you got the message, but maybe you're not responding to it the way they want you to. They should be able to understand that and respect it, or try to find a different way to approach you on that same subject, rather than trying to impose the thought and beliefs on you.
Right, and with this particular individual, I did have a conversation with the individual, and we talked about. I know the intent of your efforts. It's good. It's coming from a good place. It's not like spamming my email, spamming my WhatsApp, you know, spamming my Facebook. It's coming from a good place. But again, like Dipo said, the message, the way you receive the message is a key. You know, it's never really. It's also a setting. Let's say you've had a long day, and then you maybe you had a long, tiresome, you know, challenging day, and then a message, you read something about a message and it hits home and it re-energizes you, right? So I think it's also a setting, to receive the message, right? Also the mind state to receive that message. So I think what the disconnect between me and that individual we talked about is like, I'm not on social media, my G. Don't tag me on prophets coming. Don't tag me on things that like, you know, can be very polarized. And I know I get tagged on things like on music. I get tagged on stuff that is not even concerning me. And I'm like tagging me on a beheading or some weird stuff. It's just like people abusing social media. And I'm sorry to use that. I'm using spirituality or religion in this case. It's not abuse, but it's also understanding that I like privacy. I'd rather you bring that to me verbally. Like, hey, have you thought about this? Rather than, you know, sending me articles and scriptures on vaccines and religion and stuff, and just giving me a whole bunch of stuff, like abusing your connection with me on social media. Not only religion, like COVID stuff, you're just sending me a whole bunch of garbage because you have accessibility to me.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying about that. Now, it was not only just religious based, but I like that privacy. Like, some things keep to yourself. I mean, on social media, that is for me.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, what's up, Dipo? Go ahead.
Go ahead, Liz.
No, I was just going to make a comment. That's a good point because even today, people are losing that sense of privacy even when it comes to resolving issues, right? Yeah. Like they will rather go on social media and and post something, you know, like a subtle message or tweet. Right. You know what I mean? Post rather than come and talk to you and try to say, hey, man, like, what's going on? Let's talk it out and let's try to work this out. Right. People are forgetting all that. And it is a big part of human or like social interactions. And we cannot forget that. Like, we shouldn't let social media like get us away from being able to talk things out and being able to actually talk to people, whether it's dating, resolving issues, or just communicating, man. Like, let's not just communicate through social media. Let's talk.
Yeah.
Right.
I think so. Another thing I think to add on to the last topic we talked about, I think it also depends on people's perception of you or what they think, the assumptions of who you are as a person. So for Strap, being that you are an artist at heart, people feel okay. He's out there. He's an open-minded guy. He shares stuff. His contents are entertaining or they are free-minded. He should be able to handle these kinds of things. Or it's an easy person. Okay, let's see what Strap thinks about this. On a personal level, for me, I may post stuff, but I'm not necessarily out there like that. Or it depends on how you view me, but you kind of know, okay, I'm not going to, feed this guy with all this unnecessary stuff because, okay, I know he's either not going to respond or he's just going to watch it off. Kind of, you think about it from a larger scope, at least, like, right? You think about guys like ODB. You imagine how much he's getting because of the perception people have of him. From external side, it's like, oh, he's a flashy athlete. He's a white silver and all this. But on a personal level, he maybe doesn't necessarily want all that. But you're not going to know that because he's not out here saying, okay, yes, what I did on the field is on the field, or what I post on social media. Don't blow my DMs or spam me with all this unnecessary junk. So I think that also plays a part into how people not knowing where to draw the line. Except you come back at them and say, okay, I don't need this. This is not, I respect you and all, but there's levels to this. Let's keep this at a minimum. So,
yeah.
I mean, on that note, we come to the end of this episode.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys have anything to add on this? I think we've milked this cow right here.
Yeah,
social media.
Yeah, definitely did. Great topic, great discussion.
Great topic. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the episode. As you know, it's the Center Street Boys. You guys have any final words to close this?
Man, keep it real, 100.
Absolutely. I mean, have a healthy life, not only on social media, but also in real life. Go outside and, put your phone down, turn off your phone a little bit, connect with people in real life, not only on the internet,
Yeah.
We need it, especially. I mean, it's hard in the COVID time, but at least social distance when you do.
Do not let social media play your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't be going out there chasing those likes, man. Live your life.
And just like that, we are out. Peace.
All right. Salute.
Yep.